I agreed to be the human host of a mind-controlling parasite I met on Reddit as a joke, and now he won't leave. Written by the Secret Pie. Okay, cards on the table. I'm really drunk right now. I don't want to be. I can't fucking think, and I have a massive headache. But I need to be alone for 5 minutes. Where do I even begin? A few days ago I agreed to be willingly possessed in exchange for $20. That sounds really stupid when I type it out. Do you think I'm stupid? Like, you all saw the post, right? I'm not sure if this is actually happening or if I'm having a psychotic break. I met James at the laundromat near my college, the type that has those annoying fluorescent lights that are just too loud. I had asked him if he wanted to meet someplace cool like Lizzie's or the arcade, but he said his clothes were covered in blood and they needed a good wash. I laughed. He laughed. He was wearing this ridiculously large fur overcoat and a wide-brimmed sun hat with plastic flowers glued onto it. You know, like the kind at Hobby Lobby. "It's so wonderful to meet you, Carlos," he said, smiling with both rows of teeth. "You're a bit hairier than I thought you would be." "Bro, beggars can't be choosers." "Right, of course." His eyes shifted around, probably checking to see that no one was watching. Then, with a shaking hand, he lifted his cloak and outstretched some tightly clutched fingers, and he handed me $20. And I was like, nice. As his hand retreated, the fabric of his cloak fell back over his chest, but not before I noticed this enormous fucking gaping wound. Wow, fuck, are you okay? Oh yes, I'm fine. We can RP later. I think you need to go to the hospital. I saw something pulsing underneath the wound. Something writhing, like maggots. I don't... This ramen noodle looking bitch. Oh god, I think I'm going to be sick. I haven't been drunk since freshman year. I got my shit together. I talked to the counselor. I talked to my mom. Well, she talked to me. Yelled. My mom yelled at me. Of course her yelling at me didn't help the fact that I didn't have a single fucking friend and my grades were shit, so... But that doesn't matter. Someday I'm going to be a doctor and I'm going to have a lot of money. Then maybe I'll go to Disney World so I can forget the fucking tendrils sprawling through my arteries and wrapping around my heart brainstem. Where the fuck did I put my meds? Honestly, it wasn't so bad at first. I showed James some of my favorite books and shit, and he said he liked my dead wasp collection. Well, I mean, he never said that, but like, you know how when you read something, there's this little voice in your head? He's like that. My roommate said the only thing I did while sleepwalking was Google pictures of birds and cry, but I started waking up in weirder places. Mostly the sewers. Also the arcade one time, but mostly the sewers. I didn't have a scratch on me though, so I didn't care. James did make me lots of food as promised. Banana bread, also Fruity Pebbles casserole, olive and peanut butter smoothies, and microwaved sardines. A whole fucking buffet of thrown together abominations. I mean, they weren't half-assed. They were full-ass. He was really trying. I didn't eat any of it, of course. I mean, the banana bread was full of eggshell shards, and it tasted like shit. And he was all like, "We need the calcium." And I mean, maybe we do. I think he's growing. I can feel it. This is all my fault. You know why it's my fault? I was too nice to James. Because whenever I felt like shit, I'd be like, "Hey James, can you do this? I feel like shit." And he would get so excited about getting to do literally anything, even listening to the most boring ass shit audio 300 to 1 student teacher ratio Zoom lectures from our condescending professors. I mean, it was weird the first couple of times he did it. My muscles pulling and stretching without me asking them to. And whenever I tried, nothing. Maybe a little twitch, but that's it. But I got used to it, and it was so easy to just clock out and let him take over, you know? Whenever I was falling asleep in class, I'd hear his brain voice just be like, "Hey, why don't you take a break?" And well, how could I refuse? One day, I really felt like shit and had basically been letting him do everything. I needed a mental break. I had a lot going on. I've been working on myself. Then at around 8 p.m., I remembered something I had to do, not James. I told James to give me back my body, but he didn't listen. I told him again and again. I was like, "James, what the fuck?" Except I didn't say that, because I couldn't fucking say anything. I started to hyperventilate, but James put a stop to that, forcing me to breathe slowly. I could feel my heart beating in my ears. I tried to scream. I tried to shout, but I was frozen in the middle of my living room, trapped inside myself. I had completely lost control. The fucker dressed me up in dumbass clothes and made me eat all the fucked up shit that had been sitting in our fridge. Eggshells like shards of glass stuck in my teeth, crunching it up with the shells just crunching away. I wasn't acting like myself. For almost an entire week, I wasn't acting like myself. And people were noticing. But that wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was, they liked James. I smiled to everyone as if it was for a fucking camera, and offered to help people with their bags. And they said shit like, "You look so good in that," and "You're so nice today, Carlos." Am I not nice normally? I never hurt anyone, so maybe I don't go out of my way to treat everyone like they're the Queen of England, but I'm a nice guy. I fucking swear everyone's out to get me. Maybe a week later, I don't know, time isn't real anymore. James got invited to a rager. He covered himself up in 15 colorful scarves and was flirting with everyone. I was sweating buckets. At some point, fucking Becky, bought us a margarita. So much sugar you can't taste anything else. The lights were blinding, and everyone looked so stupid. But suddenly, I could move my arms. Whatever this creature is, I don't think it tolerates alcohol. As long as I keep drinking, I'll stay in control. But drinking makes me lose control. I can't fucking win. I don't want to be a puppet forever. I don't want to eat any more fucking eggshells. I don't know what to do. Can't cut him out because I'm too drunk. Don't want to go to the psych ward because they'll just think I'm crazy, take me in, get me sober, and then James takes over again. I don't want to go to the doctor and get an x-ray because they'll notice I'm drunk and get me sober. Then James will say some stupid shit like, "I'm doing swell, doctor. I'm going to go jerk off to pictures of birds now." Don't want to talk to my mom because, yeah, I'm not talking to my mom. I don't know. I'm just so fucking tired. I'm falling asleep, and I'm running out of vodka, and I'm scared. I have no friends to confide in. Everyone thinks I'm crazy, and I technically have a theoretic essay due tomorrow, but James actually wrote it, and it's good? So Reddit, What the fuck do I do?